Hi. Oh my God. Sorry about the delay there. Welcome to episode 20. I love that number 20. It's probably was a great age for me, I think. Love 20. So, episode 20 of the No Reservations podcast. This is Kasey Anton. And this episode is going to be all about the holidays, the holiday hustle, preparing your restaurant for the festive season. Oh my God. I love this topic. There is so much to do, to say, to banter about. I'm bantering with myself right now, but let's just dive into the holiday hustle. Now, on previous episodes, I know that every once in a while I will bring up the holidays when it certainly comes to specials, menu items. I think I just did it recently, and I was talking about the pumpkin craze, the apple craze in the fall, things like that. It's just such a great time to make money. I mean, that's as simple as I can say it. It is a great time to make money in your restaurant because you can create all of these beautifully festive, fun. Plus, everyone's in a great mood and knows they're spending money, right? Everyone knows they're going to spend money this season. So usually, all bets are off, and they're going to go nuts. So I'm just going to recap a few things that are pretty obvious with menus. Of course, holiday season in the climates where weather gets colder, most climates, weather gets colder, you certainly can start in with the stews or braised meats, which generally you can buy a much less expensive cut of meat and still create a amazingly delicious dish and charge a great amount for it, and have a fantastic profit margin. Not only just on your main courses with the stews and the braised meats, like I said, and anything have to do with that, but certainly with side dishes, you could do it. You could probably do it with appetizers. Nothing's coming to mind other than a great time to suggestive sell on the appetizers, because generally a lot of people, when they're going out during the holiday season, it's usually celebrations, lunch dates, the holiday office lunch, certainly the holiday dinner. I take my staff out to a wonderful dinner in a private dining room at the Quarry restaurant in Hingham, Massachusetts. Great place, one of our long-term clients. Beautiful wine room that we rent out every year, just fits us. If we get any bigger, I don't know what Greg's going to do with us. But we have a great time, very intimate. So, and it's not like I'm penny pinching. And I don't think most people, when you have a holiday party, you're just like, yeah, order what you want. You want people to enjoy, have fun, be joyful, and just do it. Just do it up. Just do it right. So, suggestive selling can really go a long way because people are willing to spend. So, depending on your concept, your menu, you can come up with some great strategies. If not, Google it, go on Pinterest, you know where to go and find them. But there are just so many great ways to create beautifully festive looking and festive tasting dishes for that. Not to mention, I have to mention a Christmas or holiday sangria. I know I've talked about sangria more than once on former or previous episodes. It's because it can be a fantastic moneymaker and an absolute crowd pleaser. And, take that even a step further in terms of the bar when it comes to the holidays. I mean, you could do some spiked eggnogs, the apple ciders, the spiked apple ciders, however you call them, mulled. Obviously all day long people are out looking for those because they don't get them. It's unique. They don't get them every time of year, and they'll spend money. And chances are, even if you charge a little bit more than you might if you offered it every day of the year, maybe if you normally charge something that's 14, maybe you make it 16 or 18 and, put a little garnish on it or something, a candy cane, a holly sprig. I don't know. You're not going to get a lot of complaints. You might get some, but then it's right. That is a thing. I learned this a long time ago and have found it to always be true, is that when you raise prices on anything or set a price on something, if you don't have up to about 10% complaints on the price, you didn't mark it up enough. I've always heard that, and it's kind of true. So you actually kind of want at least one or two people to complain about the price. Then it's right. It's when more than 10% complain, then you might have gone too far. So that's it. So we kind of covered that. Your savory menu, appetizers. I'm sure you can come up with some great ideas for appetizers because people want to sit, relax, enjoy their coworkers or their family or their friends or whatever they're out celebrating. Your entrees, of course, like I had mentioned before. The drinks, yes. Desserts. I think I just talked about this I just talked about this in the last podcast too. But just to quickly recap, desserts. People are out to hang out. They're not in a rush. Hopefully, they're not in a rush this time of year. They're there to celebrate. It's the one time a year where it's like okay to drink at lunch, it seems like. You can get them on the suggestive sell of a dessert, especially if you're doing any type of holiday type dessert. If you can get the visual of it, if you can get it a picture, not even a picture in front of them. I mean, maybe that's certainly should go on your social media, but maybe even if you are able to have one or two that you can bring by the table, even if you're bringing it to another table, maybe slowly like lower it down. And if you're being conversational at a table, just point to it and say, you guys got to get this as you walk by and deliver it. So don't put it in front of them. Don't get their germs on it. Of course, people are absolute germaphobes, but enough that you can kind of get their attention as you walk by and say, you guys got to order this tonight. So, desserts. That let me add a little tip here. Not everyone wants to sit that long for a 3-course dinner anymore. I get it. We have no attention spans to do that. So offer certain things to go, especially what's in my mind right now is the office holiday lunches, right? Maybe they do have to get back to the office, or they just, whatever reason, they don't want to sit too long. Christmas cookies. Come on, man. Like that's not hard. Even if you outsource to a local bakery or you bake them in house, however, package them up with a fun Christmas sticker. Maybe you can even get a logo sticker with a Christmas vibe. We did that here at Spark and I freaking love it. Just put a Santa hat on our logo and it's the cutest thing. People always comment on it. But you can do that, and whether it's a little box or a cellophane bag of paper or whatever, you could say, "Oh, you don't have time for dessert today? We have bags of the most fantastic, Christmas holiday cookies that you're ever going to have. They're just $5, $6, $7, $10, whatever it is. You get a half dozen for $10, and get your name out there. It's adding a service. There should be some profit margin on that. So overall, sell. People are in the mood to buy. Give them something to sell. So train your staff on suggestive selling. Put those specials out there. Add stuff to your menu if that makes more sense to you. Go with the cheaper things that you can buy that you can still charge a lot to because it's that time of year. Okay, I'm going to put that aside now. You know the game. It's so important. This is literally striking while the iron's hot when we're talking about holiday hustle and preparing your restaurant to make some money. Now, a couple of the things I wanted to add. I'm hoping you're already booked up or booking up for holiday parties. If not, you need to start putting that all over your social media. If you have a newsletter that goes out, then put it on your newsletter. You need to be right now getting people to 100% book their holiday. You want to be sold out with lunch, dinner. Maybe you say you can offer this great pre-fee menu for, I don't know, 30, 40, $50, whatever fits your mode, and show them what it might look like. You need to have visuals on social media. Maybe you need visuals in your newsletter, your email. Get the word out now. You want to have a waiting list to book these parties. Get in front of them now because they're all going to come in the door last minute, and that's not helping you to prepare. So there's that. Holiday bookings, so incredibly important. There's always someone looking to book for a holiday event. Tell them why it needs to be you. And there are different ways you can do that. Now, upsells on these holiday parties that I'm talking about, nobody does them. Baffles me that nobody does them. That you could say, great, would you like, a holiday flower arrangement or anything else you can come up with, something on the table, a goodie bag. I mean, there's a million things you could probably come up with that's an upsell to saying, oh, you're going to book your party, table 10, 15, 20, whatever it is. Would you like us to arrange for some holiday arrangements for the table? Or we also can create so they have a goodie bag. Maybe it's those Christmas cookies I talked about for just an additional $5 a person, $10 a person, whatever it is, holiday arrangements. We can have your whole table decked out in mistletoe. I don't know. $150. And then you get a local florist to, hopefully do it for you for 60 or 70. $150 might seem like a lot, especially if we're talking about one arrangement, but we're not talking about one arrangement. We're talking about you spending your time arranging for it, picking it out, having it ready and set on the table before you and your guests arrive. There's a value in that. I'd pay that all day long. Places that I go don't offer these things. I don't know why. I think it's the low hanging fruit money that you can absolutely send out there. And to take that even a step further, we work with an incredible restaurant. I work with many in California, but one that I'm thinking of, we talked about doing some type of gifting where people, you always have that hard to buy for person, right, on your list. Well, if you created a simple gift basket, maybe it has a bottle of wine, if it's legal in your state to sell that, a bottle of wine, maybe it's got a corkscrew that has your logo, maybe not, maybe it's just a cool looking corkscrew, tied together in a cellophane bag with a big gorgeous bow. And you just have that with a nice, beautiful sign just saying, hard to buy for a person. We have the gift. Maybe it hopefully has a gift card to your restaurant in there. Wrap it together. Oh, for $150, you get this bottle of wine. You get the gift card. You get the wine key. It's a gift that you can give to anybody. Have that put together as samples, ready to go. No brainer. I don't know why I don't see enough people doing that. People are willing to spend money during this time of year, and you'll be doing them a humongous favor if you solve the ongoing, constant annual problem we have of, I got to get this vendor or my boss or my, manager or whatever. I got to get my gift. I never know what to get them. A restaurant can, solve it for you. So there's that. Now, a couple of other things I just wanted to mention during this time. If you are lucky enough to sell a ton of gift cards, and hopefully you are, many restaurants are, if you're that type of restaurant, consider setting up a separate bank account or utilizing maybe your profit account or another account that you don't normally utilize to move those gift card sales over to. You don't want to blend it with your usual money because it feels like it's free money for you to be able to use to operate your business, but that none of those gift card sales have been realized yet. So that's why gift card sales are never found on your P&L. They're not on your income statement because they're not actually sales. The sale happens when the recipient comes in and uses the card. So for example, just to make sure we're all clear on this point, if you were to sell $100,000 worth of gift cards in December and you don't separate out that $100,000 money, right? You're just like, great. Oh my God, look how flush my OpEx is. I'm going to go buy everything I ever wanted to buy and pay every single bill I had to pay and blah, 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 and pay down all my debt. And if all of those people, or most of them, 90% of them come in and use it the first 2 weeks of January, you are going to be so cash strapped, right? Because you've already spent that $100,000, presumably, and then everyone came in and used it, and now you have to buy all the food and the wine and the liquor, whatever they're going to use the gift card for, and it can create a real problem. Is that highly likely? No. I mean, we know that not all gift cards usually get used. We also know they're not all going to be used in January, although I would say, especially in this area, a decent amount will be used. But that's just one point to make my point, is that you want to set that money aside. I would say every week you could run a report from your point of sale and just look at your gift card sales. Oh, you sold $5,000 in gift card sales. Okay, let's move $5,000 over to our gift card account or whatever account you're going to use for that. And then either right away or maybe once January hits, you run the same report and say, okay, how many people came in and redeemed those gift cards? Okay, so $3,000 came in, then move $3,000 from that gift card bank account back to your operating or your vendor account or however you have it set up and use it. So that's what you do. You run a report every week for the sales and you move the sales of gift card over, and then you run the same report or on that same report, see who redeemed it and move that back over to your operating account or your income account, depending how you have your cash set up. Really important to kind of keep those separated, especially if you sell a ton of gift cards. Okay, so there's a whole section in a chapter in my book. So if you don't have my book, please get it, Profit First for Restaurants. And I talk about that in full. The last piece I think I can touch on before I go way over my usual time slot. Oh yeah, I'm at 15 minutes. So the last piece I want to talk over is how you communicate with the outside world, with your clients. Of course, you should have a social media strategy. That should absolutely go without saying, and that you're executing that regularly. Not a hard thing to do. You can hire someone to do that. You can set it and forget it using different softwares that are not expensive. So let's just assume that you all have a great social media strategy and you're executing on it. Perfect. What happens when somebody goes through your website or DMs you on Instagram or messages you on Facebook or just emails you directly? What kind of email reply are they getting? Here's what they should be getting. There should be an automatic responder on all of those items. Automatic. And on that automatic responder, you should basically have your FAQs right then and there, where you can just answer questions that they probably were trying to get answered in the first place. You can have how they make reservations, give a link if you take them online, or give a phone number and tell them the hours that you take reservations. You could have a PDF download of your menu, of all your menus right then and there if they were really looking to see a current menu. You could have a link to what all your current and upcoming events are. You could have a link to sell gift cards. I certainly would hope you'd have a link to sell gift cards right there. A link right on this autoresponder email or message, or however people are getting to you. Just take whatever the top 5 to 10 things that people, when they do call you, they call you about, and just make it a beautiful, very simple, but very organized email where you're trying to answer 99% of the questions you get right there. You're going to do them a huge favor, and they're going to think, wow, this place has their shit together. And I have to say the same for your phone tree, because yes, I know not a lot of people call restaurants anymore. I'm a fan of that. But the ones that do call, if you're not going to answer and have somebody extremely trained to answer their questions for them, then you need to have those answered on your phone tree. Everything that's in this autoresponder email that I'm telling you about needs to go absolutely on your phone tree, including parking, whether you have valet or not, etc. And I bring this up because I was looking to go, and this was months ago, almost last winter, so almost a year ago, to a pretty well-known restaurant. And I didn't know, it was kind of new, or new to me anyway, pretty well-known. And I just didn't know if they had valet or not. They're in a neighborhood in Boston where some do, some don't. Plus valet in Boston can be a little weird. Not some restaurants are against it, some are for, I don't know. So I was just calling to see if they even had it, or if I should, find, use Spot Hero, look for parking, whatever. Nobody answered the phone. And I called at noon. Nobody answered. Okay, so maybe they come in later. That's understandable. I called again, I think at 3. Still, nobody answered the phone. It just kept ringing. There was no answer. And from a high-end, nice, well-known place like this, I was really surprised. I think I called back one more time at like 4:10 in the afternoon. I think I either got a busy signal or no answer. I never got through to anybody. And then when I went to their website, well, the reason why I called is because their website didn't have any of this information, did not have how do I park there at all. I think it might have had a link to Open Table, but the Open Table didn't even tell me where I could park. That seems like unforgivable. I ended up not going to this restaurant, and that was going to be a nice dinner tab, I'll tell you, just for that reason alone. So make sure that you are crossing all your I's and dotting all your T's when it comes to holiday planning, how you're going to show up for your guests, how organized you can be, certainly your menu, striking while the iron's hot in terms of all the things that you're able to sell. Yeah, I mean, I think I just said it all. I don't need to recap everything. If so, you can just re-listen to this episode. And as always, please like, share, tell people about it, leave a review. All of the above is just so, so, so appreciative. I'd love to get this podcast into the more hands, more ears of people who could really use it in our beloved restaurant industry. So there you go. Thank you again so much for listening, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.